So I've been having issues with my desktop, so this is going to be a video shot from my laptop, so it's probably going to be a little bit slower. I've also been having a lot of issues with the Pokemon game, and what I have learned is that when you trade cards, even if you're trading cards that aren't from your deck, if you're trading something that's related to your deck, it can still mess up your current deck and you have to go rebuild it. So this is me rebuilding my RayEels deck, and I decided to rebuild it a little differently and add in Victini, which was a new tech that did really well at regionals. So I start off with 2 Rayquaza EX and 2 of the Donking Rayquaza. I would like to go with 3 of the Thunderwave Dynamo, but I only have, or 4 of the Dynamo, but I only have 3, so I'm going to stick with 3 of the Paralysis one and 1 of the Charge. I'm going to throw in Victory Star Victini, and basically the strategy of this version of RayEels is to start off with a Thunderwave Dynamo, use Thunderwave to paralyze your opponent, and if you flip tails, use Victini to reflip. Also throwing in 4 electric because Dynamotor is so important. But basically you just keep up the paralysis until you're set up. That gives you time to set your eels up, slows down your opponent, and yeah, especially against Darkrai decks, they typically don't run switches, so that hopefully buys you some time. Throwing in a couple of regular Zekrom, just because, you know, it's a Ezekiel's deck as well. You know, Rayquaza is another big attacker, but of course Zekrom's going to be involved. Throw that in there and throw a couple Mewtwo. So 4N, that's pretty much an essential in every deck. 4 Catcher. I only throwing in 3 Juniper just because I don't want to, I don't like to go aggro Juniper in decks that can't get resources back, like Darkrai variants that run Sableye. I'm going to go with 4 Bianca, and I'm trying out something new with this deck as well. Typically I throw in a couple of random receiver, but this time I'm going to just leave out the random receiver and throw in a couple Sharon. I've been having so many issues with supporter droughts. I'm thinking maybe if I just drop the random receivers and go with supporters, I'll be alright. So 1 Super Rod, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Level Ball. Level Ball is going to search out Victini, Dynamos, and Electrics. Ultra Ball is going to search out everything else and get that discard pile. Hopefully I can just throw away Lightning Energy, and it'll get that discard pile nice and full of Lightnings, ready for my Dynamotors. So I'm going to be putting in 5 Fire for Rayquaza, and 8 Lightning for everything else. And then I still have 2 spaces left in the deck, so I think what I'm kind of going back and looking at my trainers, and, oh, I'm sorry, actually... Oh, I also threw in 2 Eviolite earlier as well. It's just, I could throw in some Tool Scrapper, and then I realized I forgot my Sky Arrows. Having free retreat in Rayquaza decks are pretty big, so throwing in a couple of Sky Arrow, and there we go. I have my 60 card deck. So I'm going to put it in a red and yellow deck box, and then name it RayEels with Victini, and let's go ahead and try it out.